Good wishes to all of you. Indian Polity by m.laxmikant sir. And the 11th topic from this book is Basic Structure of the Constitution. Now we are hearing it on the audio format. Emergence of the basic structure. The question with whether fundamental rights can be amended by the Parliament under Article 368 came for consideration of the Supreme Court within a year of the Constitution coming into force. In the Shankari Prasad case 1951, the constitutional validity of the First Amendment Act 1951, which curtailed the right to property, was challenged. The Supreme Court ruled that the power of the Parliament to amend the Constitution under Article 368 also includes the power to amend fundamental rights. The word law in Article 13 includes only ordinary laws and not be constitutional amendment acts, constant laws. Therefore, the Parliament can abridge or take away any of the fundamental rights by enacting a constitutional amendment act, and such a law will not be void under Article 13. But in the Golaknath case 1967, the Supreme Court reversed its earlier stand. In that case, the constitutional validity of the 17th Amendment Act 1964, which inserted certain state acts in the 9th schedule, was challenged. The Supreme Court ruled that the fundamental rights are given a transcendental and immutable position, and hence the Parliament cannot abridge or take away any of these rights. A constitutional amendment act is also a law within the meaning of Article 13 and hence would be void for violating any of the fundamental rights. The Parliament reacted to the Supreme Court's judgment in the Golaknath case 1967 by enacting the 24th Amendment Act 1971. This act amended Article 13 and 368. It declared that the Parliament has the power to abridge or take away any of the fundamental rights under Article 368, and such an act will not be a law under the meaning of Article 13. However, in the Keshwanand Bharati case 1973, the Supreme Court overruled its judgment in the Golaknath case 1967. It upheld the validity of the 24th Amendment Act 1971 and stated the Parliament is empowered to abridge or take away any of the fundamental rights. At the same time, it laid down a new doctrine of the basic structure or basic features of the Constitution. It ruled that the constant power of Parliament under Article 368 does not enable it to alter the basic structure of the Constitution. This means that the Parliament cannot abridge or take away a fundamental right that forms a part of the basic structure of the Constitution. The doctrine of basic structure of the Constitution was reaffirmed and applied by the Supreme Court in the Indira Nehru Gandhi case 1975. In this case, the Supreme Court invalidated a provision of the 39th Amendment Act 1975, which kept the election disputes involving the Prime Minister and the Speaker of Lok Sabha outside the jurisdiction of all courts. The court said that this provision was beyond the amending power of Parliament as it affected the basic structure of the Constitution. Again, the Parliament reacted to this judicially innovated doctrine of basic structure by enacting the 42nd Amendment Act 1976. This act amended Article 368 and declared that there is no limitation on the constant power of Parliament and no amendment can be questioned in any court on any ground, including that of the contravention of any of the fundamental rights. However, the Supreme Court in the Minerva Mills case 1980 invalidated this provision as it excluded judicial review, which is a basic feature of the Constitution. Applying the doctrine of basic structure with respect to Article 368, the court held that since the Constitution had conferred a limited amending power on the Parliament, the Parliament cannot, under the exercise of that limited power, enlarge that very power into an absolute power. Indeed, A limited amending power is one of the basic features of the Constitution, and therefore the limitations on that power cannot be destroyed. In other words, Parliament cannot under Article 368 expand its amending power so as to acquire for itself the right to repeal or abrogate the Constitution or to destroy its basic features. The domain of a limited power cannot be the exercise of that power convert the limited power into an unlimited one. Again, in the Vaman Rao case 1981, the Supreme Court adhered to the doctrine of the basic structure and further clarified that it would apply to constitutional amendments enacted after April 24, 1973. That is the date of the judgment in the Keshwananda Bharati case. Elements of the basic structure. The present position is that the Parliament under Article 368 can amend any part of the Constitution including the fundamental rights but without affecting the basic structure of the Constitution. However, the Supreme Court is yet to define or clarify as to what constitutes the basic structure of the Constitution. From the various judgments, the following have emerged as basic features of the Constitution or elements of the basic structure of the Constitution. Supremacy of the Constitution, sovereign, democratic and republican nature of the Indian polity, secular character of the Constitution, separation of powers between the legislature, the executive and the judiciary, federal character of the Constitution, unity and integrity of the nation, welfare state, socio-economic justice, judicial review, freedom and dignity of the individual, parliamentary system, rule of law, harmony and balance between fundamental rights and directive principles, principle of equality, free and fair elections, independence of judiciary, limited power of Parliament to amend the Constitution, effective access to justice, principles or essence underlying fundamental rights, powers of the Supreme Court under Article 32, 136, 141 and 142, powers of the High Courts under Article 226 and 227, evolution of the basic structure of the Constitution. Name of the case and year: Keshwananda Bharati case 1973, popularly known as the Fundamental Rights case. Elements of the basic structure as declared by the Supreme Court. Supremacy of the Constitution, separation of powers between the legislative, executive and judiciary, republic and democratic form of government, secular character of the Constitution, federal character of the Constitution, sovereignty and unity of India, freedom and dignity of the individual, mandate to build a welfare state, parliamentary state. Name of the case and year, elements of the basic structure as declared by the Supreme Court. Indira Nehru Gandhi case 1975, popularly known as the election case. India as a sovereign democratic republic, equality of status and opportunity of an individual, secularism and freedom of conscience and religion, government of laws and not of men, rule of law, judicial review, free and fair elections which is implied in democracy. Minerva Mills case 1980, limited power of Parliament to amend the Constitution, judicial review, harmony and balance between fundamental rights and directive principles. Central Coalfields Limited case 1980, effective access to justice. Bhim Singhji case, welfare state, socio-economic justice. SP Sampath Kumar case, rule of law, judicial review. B. Sambamurthy case, rule of law, judicial review. Delhi Judicial Service Association case 1991, powers of the Supreme Court under Article 32, 136, 141 and 142. Indira Sahni case 1992, popularly known as the Mandal case, rule of law. Kumar Padma Prasad case 1992, independence of judiciary. Kyoto Holohan case 1993, popularly known as defection case, free and fair elections, sovereign, democratic, republican structure. Raghunath Rao case 1993, principle of equality, unity and integrity of India. S.R. Bommai case 1994, Federalism, Secularism, Democracy, Unity and Integrity of the Nation, Social Justice, Judicial Review. L. Chandrakumar case 1997, Powers of the High Courts under Article 226 and 227. Indra Sahni second case 2000, Principle of Equality. All India Judges Association case 2002, Independent Judicial System. Kuldeep Nair case 2006, Democracy, Free and Fair Elections. M. Nagaraj case 2006, Principle of Equality. I.R. Kohela case 2007, popularly known as 9th Schedule case, Rule of Law, Separation of Powers, Principles or Essence, Underlying Fundamental Rights, Judicial Review, Principle of Equality. Ram Jethmalani case 2011, Powers of the Supreme Court under Article 32. Namit Sharma case 2013, Freedom and Dignity of the Individual. Madras Bar Association case 2014, Judicial Review, Powers of the High Courts under Article 226 and 227. Notes and references. Shankari Prasad vs. Union of India 1951, Golaknath vs. State of Punjab 1967, Keshwanandi Bharati vs. State of Kerala 1973, Indira Nehru Gandhi vs. Raj Narayan 1975, Minerva Mills vs. Union of India 1980, Vaman Rao vs. Union of India 1981. For the subject matter of these articles, see Appendix 1. IBID. Central Coal Fields Limited vs. Jaiswal Coal Corporation 1980. Bhim Singh Ji vs. Union of India 1981. SP Sampath Kumar vs. Union of India 1987. P. Samamurthy vs. State of AP 1987. Delhi Judicial Service Association vs. State of Gujarat 1991. Indra Sahni vs. Union of India 1992. Kumar Padma Prasad vs. Union of India 1992. Kihoto Howlhorn vs. Jachihu 1993. Raghunath Rao vs. Union of India 1993. S.R. Bommai vs. Union of India 1994. Chandrakumar vs. Union of India 1997. Indra Sahni 2 vs. Union of India 2000. All India Judges Association vs. Union of India 2002. Kuldeep Nair vs. Union of India 2006. M. Nagaraj vs. Union of India 2006. I.R. Kohel vs. State of Tamil Nadu 2007. Ram Jethmalani vs. Union of India 2011. Namit Sharma vs. Union of India 2013. Madras Bar Association vs. Union of India 2014. Thank you.